Welcome back to Christian Adventure Films. We've been missing in action for almost 2 months now, and I just wanted to do a little update on what in the world is going on with this. I got some notes here to keep us on track and keep us from going off on too many rabbit trails, but just wanted to update on some things. First of all, with the Revelation Life podcast that we were doing, the big thing I wanted to do in that was I wanted to try to hit certain points, and my plan was for us to go through the book of John and potentially through the book of Acts. And interestingly, a lot of the points that I wanted to hit that I thought were really important about Christianity, we got to in the first 3 chapters of the book of John. So that was kind of cool. And then another thing, part of that is that with those long podcast form videos, it takes a long time to go through that footage. It was getting a little bit overwhelming with all the things that were going on with her and her appointments for her cancer and just everything else that needed to be done and that we were trying to do. So that was one of the reasons as well. And then another thing, I know a lot of people don't have time to watch videos that long. For us, when we watch or listen to podcasts, a lot of times we're doing something else, or we're on a long drive or something, which that's really cool to be able to have that when we're on a long drive or something. Kind of makes things go by quicker, especially if you don't have the greatest scenery in the world. And right now we have some wonderful scenery. We're in South Lake Tahoe right now, and actually trying to find a place to do this just right over there, just a little ways over that way. I was walking through and I thought I saw a good spot over there. It was kind of lit up and everything. So I was walking over there, and thankfully, thank the Lord, I just noticed these 2 heads peeking over a bush, and it was a mama bear and a baby bear, just like right over there. Hopefully they're gonna stay away from hearing us talking over here and everything. But that was kind of wild that if I wouldn't have seen him, I probably would have just walked right next to him. And you know what happens with a mama bear, if she thinks you're messing with her cubs, that would have been good. Black bears, they'll pretty much leave you alone, but not if they're feeling threatened, or they feel their cubs are being threatened.
Well, you must have been right. Must have been a good spot.
Yeah, they like that spot over there. I mean, it's a good look at the lake. The lake is behind us over here. You may not be able to see it too much from this spot, but anyway, there's one of those rabbit trails there I got off on a little bit. So in the first 3 chapters, we pretty much hit everything that I was hoping to hit. The next thing we need to update in that Revelation Life podcast, we're doing the Bible study on the second half, in case you hadn't seen it. But the first half, we were talking about things that were going on in our life as we're living for God. And the big part of that was obviously getting the shock of finding out she had cancer. And we've been talking about that through the podcast. But just to pick up where we left off, so we didn't leave everybody hanging on that one. So Jennifer, what starting? Well, I don't know. Where do you start on? Where do you pick up on that?
So I think we left off, I was still mid chemo treatments.
Yeah.
And now I've completed my chemo treatments. I am still continuing immunotherapy, but at the end of chemotherapy, they scheduled me for a couple of diagnostic testing just to see where I was at with my cancer. And I had done a physical exam. My 2 medical and surgical oncologists had done a physical exam, and we all concurred that we couldn't feel the tumor anymore, that both sides felt the same.
Which, anybody that hadn't seen the beginning ones, it started out 8 by 6 centimeters, something like, basically the size of like a peach. And now they weren't feeling anything.
Yeah. So in the very beginning, before I even received my cancer diagnosis, in my conversations with the Lord, as if I really get to say, but it was sort of a pleading like, hey, Lord, if at all possible, the two things I would really rather not go through is I'd rather not lose my hair and I'd rather not be disfigured. And, well, I lost my hair, but
That's kind of a given, I guess.
in the
Unfortunately.
disfigurement category, I really, really didn't want to go through surgery. I mean, I did. I asked a lot of peeps. Anybody that I was talking to that would check in on me, I would say I would really like prayer that I could avoid surgery. That is really one thing I don't want to go through.
I know we mentioned it on the Revelation Life podcast, but my prayer was always, Lord, protect her, bring healing to her, help her to be able to live a long, full, cancer-free life. That was my main prayer through the whole thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. It worked. Spoiler alert. Leading up to these diagnostic tests, I asked the Lord, it was like a Gideon fleece prayer where I felt like the only one that really knew what was going on inside of my body and really truly knows futuristically what I need, and that was God. I can have an intuition. The doctors can look at diagnostics. They have standard, operating procedures. That's not what they call it, but you know what I mean. And standard of care.
Standard of care.
And, but that doesn't mean that that's what's needed for me. And my surgical oncologist, in one of our meetings, we had asked the question like, hey, if these diagnostics come back and I'm clean, I'm clear, is surgery necessary? And basically due to standard of care, they say, oh yes, it's still necessary. There are clinical trials that are going on right now to determine, because of the fact that the immunotherapies and the chemotherapy, that they are working so good these days that there may be a day where surgery is not necessary, but that day is not today. Well, to me, that kind of opened Pandora's box. And I was like, hey, just because you all are 10 years behind times doesn't mean I need to be disfigured over it. And so we were driving on the way to see Matt for his birthday. That's our youngest son. Got a call that I thought was maybe one of the medical providers, but I didn't recognize the number. And since I was driving, I let it go. But that number then shortly called back again. So I realized, okay, that must be for me. So I answered. It was my surgical oncologist, and she wanted to talk to me right then. So I asked for 10 minutes so that I could pull off the side of the road and pull off and be ready for this conversation, which the pit of it's like my stomach just sank because I thought, oh my word, she seems pretty antsy that she wants to talk to me.
And pull over.
Yeah, she knew I was driving, and
which kind of makes you think of that. Are you sitting down?
Yeah. So, but anyway,
that was
thankfully she had awesome news that my MRI results came through, that I quote had a complete response to the medical treatment. She said it was amazing
response.
When she looked at the images, there's no scarring, there's no tumor, there's nothing. The only thing that's there are my biopsy markers. I was just like, yes, praise Jesus,
praise
whoop,
God.
Whoop. So to me, that was just like a clear, with my fleece request to the Lord. I mean, there's nothing there.
Not even scar tissue, and starting off from the size of a peach, and coming from the beginning, when we talked about it in the podcast, but just a real quick little recap where we saw somebody else that sounded like they were going through what she was going through, and we first thought that the worst case scenario was a lumpectomy, and then from her primary physician, he comes out with double mastectomy. And then so that we're dealing with that. Then it seemed like just the one side, and then to now have the option of saying maybe not going through surgery, just to have a
technically
lab.
It's not an option.
It's not
based
really an
on standard of care,
Yeah.
but I'm standing up for myself.
So anyway, that was, praise God, and that's one of the reasons we're here in Lake Tahoe, because kind of a short little celebration before she may have to go back to work. Where I just had a 65th birthday, and because of the great news that we've heard about her, I made it to 65.
65
Amazing.
and you're still alive.
So anyway, that's the big, huge update. I mean, what better birthday present could I get than that news there?
You're welcome.
Something that's come to my mind recently is our next project, going into another season here. We have another channel I haven't really been doing anything with. I think I'm going to change it into something else. It's going to become a new channel, Skateboarder Retirement Edition. And since that's kind of that's the season we're in right now, 65, I just got on Medicare. We're working on getting her there. I'm there, and being a skateboarder is going to have some skateboard stuff in it and some retirement stuff. So it'll hopefully get it up before this video comes out. So anybody wants to check it out, that'd be cool. That's kind of the next project that I'm working on there. On Christian Adventure Films, we may come back with some things. We may do other Bible studies, I don't know, some other videos. I'm not really sure what the future is. Right now the focus is kind of on this next project, next season that we're moving into. So anyway, great news on her. Want to let everybody know what's going on with the Revelation Life podcast and Christian Adventure Films. But whether it's on here or over on our other channel where we're going to be doing stuff.
Here or there or everywhere. Sorry.
She's a happy camper.
I think that just brought me back to like the toddler years of like Dr. Seuss books or something. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind. Won't go down that trail anymore. Anyway, just really appreciate you guys that hang out with us on Christian Adventure Films, and look forward to seeing any of you that come over on Skateboarder Retirement Edition, and maybe we'll see you back here again. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us for this update, and we'll see you again, whether it's here or over on the other channel. God bless you guys.